back to the Black Lens Show. I am your host, Vinnie Lamont, and I am joined by the lovely Tyomi Morgan. Once again, thank you so much for pulling up on me. I appreciate you. So, how about we get into some current events? We're in the city of Atlanta right now, right? Did you experience any traffic when you were on your way over here?
There's always traffic in the city of Atlanta. So
Yeah.
I'll go to speed limit. I was not speeding today. I was like, mm-mm.
Was it crazy traffic?
I feel like it's normal Atlanta traffic around 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's not as crazy as it could have been if I would have left later.
That's interesting because today is the big day for Trump, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He's supposed to like turn himself in.
Yeah. So like I was watching the news earlier and they were talking about how traffic was gonna be crazy. You have people out there protesting and everything. I saw a dude with a shirt on that said "N words for Trump."
What?
Yeah.
People are wild.
It's so crazy. But you know what this whole situation reminds me of? You remember that Dave Chappelle skit where he had the duality between like the white guy getting arrested and the black guy getting arrested,
Mm-hmm.
and the roles were switched.
Yeah, I remember that.
This situation, it just reminds me of that because technically Donald Trump and Young Thug are pretty much in jail for the same thing, you know?
They both got a Rico.
Yeah, exactly. So why isn't Young Thug able to bond? It's not like he doesn't have money, but Trump is able to bond out. I'm just lost on that.
So I think that they look at Jeffrey as
Mm-hmm.
more of a threat to society
Mm-hmm.
because allegedly he put out hits on people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Through YSL Day.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he's even been running stuff from jail, like still sending out hits on people. So he's in jail because they think he's a menace.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Donald Trump is a menace too, but a different kind of menace. And he is a threat to society.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can incite people to do things that can harm others. Like
Yes.
these people literally staged a coup
Right.
against the American government to try to overthrow and take it over.
Mm-hmm.
They got into the highest offices of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And they overthrew that.
Yeah.
That's just what they tried to do. They didn't overthrow it, but they tried to. So this man can literally tell people to assemble, like he the leader of the Autobots or something, assemble.
Right.
and people will do it.
Yes.
It's very scary. So I hope on my way home I don't run into that traffic.
Yeah, I'm hoping you make home too. But that's actually what I was going to get at is the people who got accosted from the January 6th Capitol raid, a lot of them faced a lot of slaps on the wrist.
Yeah, they did. Some of them got jail time, but I mean, you don't have to sorry about that.
Yeah, and when you do such a treasonous act, you should face a military tribunal. But none of them are. The interesting thing about that is that the people of color are the ones getting the most time. For instance, there was the face of the Proud Boys. What's his name? Enrique Tarrio. He is looking at 33 years, and he wasn't even at the Capitol. They just put him as like, oh, you were aiding the riot and everything like that.
You know how they do people of color in America when it comes to the justice system. Of course, they're going to give him the most time, and he's going to serve all of it because in their minds, it's like, well, what purpose does he serve? Yep. And also, I mean, let's be clear here. Proud Boys have something against it. I mean, is he Hispanic? He's Hispanic. Yes, he's Hispanic. They have something against Hispanics, so it's like, of course, yeah, they would use him as a base to show, like, oh yeah, we like you people. We got a Mexican person that's on our side. Yeah. And, like it's just it's wild. But I mean, I'm not surprised.
No. And it just goes to show you, Negroes, that bootlicking won't save you, cooning won't save you.
It will not save you because when it's them against the world, it's always going to be them, and they will throw you out the window Like they'll throw you under the bus in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think what the whole world is kind of waiting on right now is Trump's mugshot.
Yeah, I want to know what his hair's gonna look like.
Oh my God. Yeah, and it's funny because yesterday you got a chance to see pretty much everybody's mugshot that came
Giuliani
through.
look crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He's he's the one I'm most thrilled about seeing. I want him under the jail.
Man, I want him to do some kind of time because he was the most egregious of them all.
Yeah, and
so pompous and just peacocking around.
Yeah, and not only that, but what he did to New York City back in the day, stop and frisk and you know, all these racially motivated laws that he put in place really changed that city around, not for the better.
Right.
He did a lot of dirt, and I'm happy to see him finally get his day. If anybody I want to see him because he actually put policies in place to harm black people.
Yes.
I want to see him thrown in jail. So please, I'm begging you, God, get rid of Giuliani, please.
It's gonna happen.
I'm hoping so.
To set an example, they have to get some kind of time where they have to serve it. They have to be seen in the uniform. Mm-hmm. They have to have that smear on their name. Hey, if they sent Martha Stewart to jail, they don't send Giuliani to jail.
Yeah, come on now. Here's another flip side to that too. It's the prison that a lot of them will go to if they are convicted.
It's not hard time.
It's golf courses there. They have access to pretty much everything we have in just regular society, but they just can't leave that place. But it's not there. They don't get the hardcore prison experience like if we.
They're elites. Yeah. Of course they're not. They're still going to be separatists, even though it's still crime.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how there's levels to crime.
Ain't it? Yeah.
You get more time for petty theft than these people will get. Or a dime sack of weed is crazy.
Yeah, and it's insane that these crimes affect affect everyday living as well. They really try to.
No, it's like y'all going against the Constitution of the United States. Like y'all, you're using your right to bear arms and you're using your right to protest to try to validate overthrowing the government. Yes. If this was anywhere else, these people would have been dealt with and not diplomatically the way they're doing it. Yeah. They're dragging this thing out. Like we're almost out of 2023. Why are we still talking about this? It's very clear. Everybody who was identified as being a part of that should be in jail. Exactly. Period. Should lose rights. Exactly. Period. Should not be able to vote. Period. And there's no way in hell, excuse my language.
Oh, we gotta watch the curse.
Right. Oh, excuse my language, but there's no way he should be running for president. Like I'm just very confused.
Yes.
About why that's even allowed.
Exactly. It amazes me because for regular citizens, if you were convicted of a felony and have a RICO on what job are you getting?
None. But this man's gonna be able to walk away and still have all of his businesses and his money because he knows how to move stuff.
Yep.
That's why he took those documents in the first place. Yep. Because he just figured, well, I'm president, these are mine, do what I want with them,
Throw his weight around.
Yeah, he throws his weight around a lot. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what's happening next. But I really hope they get some kind of time. Serve at least 2 years. Just shut up already.
we want to see some kind of justice. Come on, ancestors, come
it's almost
through.
2 years.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yes. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping that the ancestors have been doing us right the month of August so far. I mean, we had the folding chair. Yeah, we had that. We getting all.
They call it the Montgomery Brawl.
Yeah, the Montgomery Brawl. We had that. It's something else that the ancestors have been working through, but the month of August has been incredible for Black people.
That's actually
it should. It really should. It really should. Speaking of the month of August, man, everybody out there that knows me knows how much of a diehard Laker fan I am. And if you're looking at us right now on the Facebook page, you see I have on my Kobe Bryant jersey in honor of Kobe Day.
Kobe.
Yes, yes, Kobe Bryant today. Yesterday actually would have been his 45th birthday, I believe. Right, 45th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's for me, it still doesn't feel like it's real that he's
It
gone.
doesn't feel real to me either.
Yeah, yeah. Were you a big basketball fan growing up?
Growing up, yes, and then like when I got older, I just kind of fell out of keeping up with it. I used to play ball. I was
Oh, really?
a power forward in the center.
Get out of here,
Yep.
really?
So I just told a friend of mine, I was like, hey, so I saw him shooting around on Instagram. I said, hey, we should play. He was like, I don't mind you posting me up. I'm like, you say that now, so I want
to. Who was your favorite players growing up?
It's not Michael Jordan. Like I'm from Chicago. I grew up when the dynasty was there.
Right.
So like it's always gonna be Michael Jordan. But I was also a Tony Kukoc fan.
What?
You know what? I was a fan of Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
And even though he was like a villain to me, Karl Malone.
Okay.
He was like, but he was a beast on the court.
Yeah.
He just, and back then, like in the 90s, basketball was rough. It used to be hacking. Oh my God. Like, they used to beat each other up on the court.
Yeah.
So,
now they do a little too soft.
Yeah, Kobe. I mean, I like Kobe, but I just thought that he was trying to be like Michael Jordan. I was just like, wow, get your own style.
Yeah, everybody.
I respected Kobe though for what he did. Also, of course, like D-Wade, another Chi-Town legends.
Yeah,
I love his style of playing, but
you know what?
Yeah.
I thought you just made me think of something, man. Right now, I think LA and Chicago probably have like the best basketball players.
The most iconic for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Any players coming from Chicago, they become icons. Yeah. And like Isaiah Thomas, he like was an icon. D-Wade's an icon. Jordan's an icon.
Doc Rivers is from out there.
Isn't Doc from Detroit?
Nah, Doc Rivers from Chicago. Yep. KG, yeah. He's from South Carolina, but he got his bones in there.
Yeah, he was from Westinghouse.
Okay.
So like,
Anthony Davis,
yes.
Shoot.
There's so many. Shannon Brown is from and played for the Lakers for a minute.
Yeah.
From Maywood.
Yeah, y'all got some hoopers.
We got hoopers. Yeah, Chicago has hoopers.
Yeah. We got some. We got James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard. Who else? We got. I think Bill Laimbeer was from Los Angeles too. We got hoopers too. So I would love to see like
a battle between LA and Chicago hoopers.
Yeah, that would be lit. But back to Kobe though, man. It was also reported today that they will be unveiling his statue in front of Staples Center, which is way long overdue. But the date that they're doing it is going to be February 8th, 2024. So it's 2/8/24, 2 in honor of his daughter Gigi, 8 and 24 for his numbers that he wore as a Laker. So I thought that was
wow, that's a nice way to honor Kobe and a great day to unveil it.
And I will be there.
I know you're gonna be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss that for the world, man. I was there the night that he announced his retirement. I was at that game, and my best memories are watching Kobe Bryant play. Like they put it together like a highlight reel of all his plays. I'm just like right there looking like I remember what I was doing every time,
Crazy.
Yeah, like there was a time he dunked against the Knicks, and he had like this baseline dunk. And I just remember I jumped up. I had a bunk bed I shared with my cousin. I just remember jumping up and hitting my head on the bunk bed after seeing that dunk. But man, that dude, he provided me so much dope memories. He's greatly missed. Basketball, it's not the same for me watching it without him. I mean, I like watching Steph and the Warriors and like some of the young talent now, but nothing beats those 90s and 2000s.
Yeah. I got to see Kobe play at the Staples Center in LA, and I was like not on court side, but like 2 rows up from court side. I was like, yo, this is so dope. And I was happy like I got to at least see him play once in LA because it's iconic. Like that's like going to the United Center to see Jordan play, or like before the United Center, it was this arena called the Barn. Excuse me, it was Raggedy.
The Barn.
The Barn. It was Raggedy. But being able to see Jordan play those early games there, the ones that kind of like built up the name of the Bulls, that was legendary.
Really?
Legendary,
That's one player that I wish I could have had an opportunity to see play up close. Jordan, the only player that I really wanted to see, I didn't see. Growing up in LA, of course, I saw Magic. I saw the Pistons. Magic. Yeah, I saw the Pistons when they came to LA. I saw pretty much every player that I wanted to see growing up except for Jordan.
Yeah.
That's the only one, man. But we'll get back to more with Miss Tyomi after these songs. Thank you guys for tuning in again. 101 TKO Radio. I am Vinnie Lamont. We'll be right back. ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in once again. This is the Black Lens Show with me, Vinnie Lamont, 101 TKO Radio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I am joined by the lovely Tyomi Morgan. Once again, thank you so much for pulling up on me. I appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and get into your story because your line of work is so interesting.
It is.
Yeah, it really
is.
I have to tell you guys how I met this sister. So I shoot content for the young ladies at the Cocktails podcast, and we were at a studio, and we were in this what would you call that? It's not a gym.
It's a recording studio, but they have a dance studio.
Inside. Yeah. So we were at a dance studio, and I'm asking them like, so what we doing today? And they're like, oh, we're doing a cowgirl class, and I'm like, a cowgirl class? What are y'all saying? Yeah, we're gonna teach girls how to ride, and I'm like, yo. Yo. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting shoot, and Tyomi came in and she busted out and she was like, yeah, this is what we about to do. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is crazy. I didn't know that there was classes for stuff like this. Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
I like to say I'm the pioneer of it because there's a lot of people teaching now. Yeah. But I started teaching on YouTube in 2014. And in 2016, I started touring the world with the cowgirl workout.
And you know, the dope thing about it is, what I appreciate so much about what you do is that you break it down to a science.
Yes.
You're not just throwing stuff out there and just saying this, that, and the third. You actually know exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so dope and so incredible. What got you into that line of work?
It was the complaints of women around the world on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I got my claim to fame on YouTube by doing sex position videos. I started putting videos up I think in 2011. And I would show people how to get into position. Mm-hmm. And every time I would put up the cowgirl positions, the women would be like, this is cool, but what do you do when you get up there? Mm-hmm. Right? So I decided to make a tutorial. And I made a total of 3, and they all went viral. But then some women were like, oh my God, thank you so much. I get it now. They improved. But other women were just like, I still don't understand what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I taught my first cowgirl class at a male review. No. I was dating a guy that was he still is an exotic dancer. And he was like, I think that this will go over very well since our audience is mostly women. I said, okay, well, I'll come and do it if you're my partner. He's like, sure. So, of course, flew out to Denver because that's what the show was, and did a show and brought down the house. And then from there, one of my friends, shout out to my friend Kat from Meow University in Chicago. University. Yes, her business is centered around from presenting and hosting sex education classes for adults. Mm-hmm. So she was like, I want to book you for your cowgirl class in Chicago. I was like, what? And we ended up filling out 2 classes in a month. So from there, I was putting it up on my social media. People were like, oh my God, you should come here, you should come here. And a friend of mine was like, hey, if you want to go on tour, we can just pack up the Buick and we can drive across the country. And I was like, for real? And I also decided, you know what, I'm going to go to London. At the end of this domestic tour, I want to go to London. So in 2016, I did a domestic tour. I went to every region of the United States teaching this class, and then I went over to London to teach. And ever since, it's been popping. I'm 8 years in teaching this. I just came back from Nairobi, Kenya in May. Wow. I had 2 sold out classes there. So, that's dope. Yeah.
So for our audience, you are known as a certified sexologist. Mm-hmm. Break it down to our audience what that is for those that might not know.
A sexologist is basically a person who has a working knowledge of the sciences of sex. And there's different avenues and caveats you can go down when it comes to sexual health and sexuality. So my specialty is tantra and also what I call the mechanics of sex. So the how-to, the applications. and then mindset. So I often help people shift how they see themselves and how they think about sex based on helping them identify and remove programming that's keeping them from really expressing their true erotic selves. So I do a lot of work with like couples and people who experience deep traumas because like that's what's in the way of their pleasure is the impact of the trauma. So help people overcome that stuff and to live their best lives. And outside of being a sexologist and like a coach, I'm also a lifestyle event host. So I'm a part of the kink and BDSM lifestyle and the, I guess you could say, swinging community of the unicorn. So I host events for people to play who are free and have a good time.
Exactly. It's a lot of interesting things
It's a
going
lot of
on.
interesting things going on. Yes.
So, why this profession? What was so intriguing to you about this line of work?
Well, back in 2010, when I started doing research, I didn't really see a lot of like mainstream and prominent faces and voices that were black speaking about sex. And so I was like, well, instead of me being a person who complains about it, I'll just jump in. Because I started studying like sex on the biological and like physiological, even spiritual level when I was in high school. So I used to want to be a doctor. So, but I was very fascinated with sexuality because when I growing up in the church, I was
Chicago folks,
shamed.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
not to cut you off, but what is it with Chicago folks and growing up in church? My wife is the same way.
I mean, people in the South, like the South, church is a staple of Southern culture,
Yeah.
I mean, and Black culture in general. It's a whole history with that, with slave masters and stuff, but I won't go there.
Yes, yes.
So, growing up in the church, like, I was shamed for having sexual thoughts or feelings. Like, sex was just kind of shamed in general, right? But people were doing the thing in the church, like physically in the church, like the
Of
kids.
course.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So in order for me to like come from under this idea that like sex is something scary or nasty or whatever, I just started studying it, like watching documentaries on the Discovery Channel and reading books in the library. Like I'm a nerd, so um, and then when I actually started like participating in it in my like late teens and into my young like 20s, I was like, I'm going through stuff that I know other women are going through, and who do you talk to? If you can't talk to your parents, if you can't talk to your friends. So I was like, I want to be like a sister or a best friend to people, a confidant to people that have professional knowledge and like lived experience, um, but that's like down to earth that people can relate to. So they can live out their true selves. Like, and so over the course of 12 years, not only have I grown as an individual, but I've also grown as a professional, as a practitioner, just through everything that I've been learning, not just like academically, but by applying what I'm learning from reading books and going to workshops and stuff like that. So it's very fulfilling for me to see Black people open up and truly live out the sex lives they want to live. Like that's a reward in itself for me. It's just seeing that. And I don't only serve Black people. I always say I'm here for everybody Black, but I'm here for anyone who resonates with my voice. So being an international brand and having an international reach, I reach all kinds of people in so many different corners of the earth. And the majority of the earth is POC, brown.
Yeah.
If you look at the math, it maths when you look at the continents. Africa and Asia are the two biggest continents, and it's like and they make up the majority of the world population. So I'm reaching mostly brown people, but anyone that's not brown, I'm welcoming them in too.
You said something which was pretty interesting, and it really makes me think when it comes to sexuality and anything that has to deal with sex or pleasure, anything like that. It's like considered taboo in mainstream society. Um, why do you think that is? I can't figure out any other way we got on this planet besides sex. Like, we have it. What's wrong with making it a pleasurable experience? Like, what's wrong with talking about it? What's wrong with expressing your desires and fantasies. Why do you think there's such a taboo attached to sex?
There's a few different reasons why I think there's a taboo attached to sex. First one is, patriarchy and misogynistic mindset. Like women, people who are born female, people who like have vaginas, are insatiable sexual beings, are naturally multi-orgasmic. So women can have sex with men or penis only people, or they can have sex with each other and can have amazing experiences either way, but probably having more fun with women. But anyway, hold on, let me just get back on topic here. So like as a way to control female sexual expression and freedom, if you control sex and say that it's taboo and put most of the like negative connotations and like stigmas on women, then you can control their sexuality and also control their power. I mean, women create other humans, and like women can also manifest using sex as a sex magic, and then population control. Like, okay, if people are not having sex, they can't procreate, which can reduce the amount of people that are on the earth. Um, and when you think about it, like in the times of like King James or like medieval times, like people was poor, like really, really poor. Minus like the king and their court and all that, the commoners like they didn't really have much. If you can put in the word of God that sex is taboo and all of this, then it prevents people from having sex, which then prevents more children from being born. I mean, that's my philosophy, like around that, just thinking about it. But you think about where a lot of the sexual repression comes from, religion plays a big part in that. So you have to ask yourself, like, why? Like why does religion think, place these thoughts out here? And a part of it too is like this idea that you cannot be a spiritual being and reach enlightenment you if you trifle with something as base level as sex, because it's an animal primal uh, instinct. So you can't be a higher elevated being in your third chakra and in your crown chakra if you're dealing with these underbellied feelings and emotions, and like that is so crazy because we reach divinity and wholeness as spiritual beings through orgasm. Like it's just wild to me. So
And it's interesting you say that because when I first met you, like your energy was so like liberating, like you and people that I know, especially a lot of women that I know that work in your profession, that's their energy. It's like it's a liberating experience for them. That's why I just never, I never view it, judge it, or anything like that because it's just like this is something that they feel empowered in. That they feel that this is another form of expression. Like sex is not a bad, dirty thing. And I hate that a lot of people that engage in that type of work, they get that stigma on them, but
it's all projection because people really do want to be sexually free, but
exactly.
with the fears and all the programming around sex that is derogatory blocks blocks their blessing. That's why I say I do the Lord's work out here, liberating people, because it is another form of expression. Yes. It's literally our key to divinity. Like and that's the thing. Sex, the act itself, like people can use it to control, people can use it to harm others. People can overstep personal autonomy and just do what they want to do. But when you use sex as a form of connection, when you use sex as a way to relieve stress, if you use sex as a way to just connect with your lover, even connect with yourself, you're literally gonna tap into the essence of creation through orgasm. Like it can be the most beautiful thing if you use it with intentionality, right, with the intentions of love and connection, right, not to like harm people. So, if people are only being fed the idea that sex is taboo, You shouldn't be doing it before a certain age, and then you shouldn't be doing it until you're married. And then when you're married, you only do it like this. Like if people are fed that kind of rhetoric from the time they are like, a toddler all the way until like through their teenage years, like their programming is stuck.
Yeah.
And as much as their bodies will respond a certain way, or they might have certain thoughts, that programming prevents them from branching out. So, and then when you control people's sexuality, you control their creativity, their ability to create. Like we are creative beings. This is why we are here. But if you can control people's ability to create, then you have sheep. You have people who do what you want them to do, and they become docile in a way. So people like us who are liberated in our sexuality, we look like we have more vitality. We look like we have more life because we do. Because we're like powering up every time we engage with our sexual energy. Because it's creative energy. It's life essence.
And I'm so glad you said that about the creatives because we're gonna tie it all in together, guys, with the Black Lens show. Trust me, it's film involved in what Miss Tyomi does. So we'll tie that all in when we come right back. Y'all don't touch that app. We'll be right back. Black Lens Show, 101 TKL Radio. And we're back. We're back with the Black Lynch Show. I am Vinnie Sankofa, aka Vinnie Lamont. Thank you guys for tuning in. 101 TKO Radio. We are here with Miss Tyomi Morgan. All right, so now we talked about your journey and what inspires you to do what you do. Now let's reel it into the content creator space.
Oh yeah,
Man, it was we share something in common. We both went to film school.
yes we did.
The same film school
We
too.
did.
Yeah,
We did.
me, I'm old, so it was a long time ago.
I just graduated last year.
Yeah, you're fresh face. Congratulations
Thank
on
you,
that.
thank you.
I'm gonna say this about my experience in film school. When I went to film school, I found myself
Mm.
in during that whole experience. Like I finally found something that I felt confident in.
Mm-hmm.
I was around people that shared the same interests. Uh, it brought something out of me that that I didn't think existed in me, and it's done wonders for my life and my career. What was your experience like at film school?
Well, it was different because I did the virtual track and I had to learn everything. I did not have a specialty, and I did it in 3 years. And I did it while still traveling and teaching and doing my job as a sexologist and during the pandemic. So it was a lot of, a lot of factors. But I've been working in the entertainment industry since 2007, and I've worked in the entertainment industry in a few different capacities, like doing junior PR work and blogging and like on-screen interviews with artists and album reviews and stuff like that. But then also as an actress doing like background, the stage, I've modeled. So I've done a lot in the entertainment industry. So I've been around cameras, I've been around film, I've been around television. I got some famous friends out there too, and so it's always been my dream, like since I was a kid, to work in the industry, to work in film, and to be on TV. So after my tantra training was over, I still had this like yearning to learn, like to pick up another skill. And even though I already had like some skills in editing and shooting stuff from being a content creator and a YouTuber, I was like, I want to have a skill set that I could walk onto a professional set and I can work. And also like, starting on film platform one of these days, which, we don't talk, but anyway. And so literally God led me to film school. And like, I love angels because they show up at the right time to just confirm for you that this is the path to go. Like the idea came to me, and then the very next day I was taking Uber downtown, downtown Chicago, and this was like around my birthday, 2018. I'll never forget it. And my Uber driver went to LA Film School. And I was like, what? And he's like, I know you're smarter than me. I know you can do it. And then he was like, plus you can get the equipment and you can make money. He's put me on game, but he would not give me my bag when we arrived at the hotel until I told him I was going to go to film school. Yeah. And I was like, right, fine. And you know how, phones listen. Yeah. So Instagram, popped up. It was ads popping up for LA Film School on my timeline. And I remember feeling so nervous, like, oh man, I think this is going to be like a life change. And I was like, I got this. And I applied and I got in. And it was such a stressful 3 years of my life just because of everything that I was going through at the time while also still studying and running my own business. It was a lot. And I remember feeling like giving up at one point because I was like, what is this? This is not picking up your phone and shooting stuff. Like, when you learn the ins and outs of production and the different roles of people who make movies happen, you would appreciate film and the people who make it happen. That's why I stand with the actors and the writers for the strikes, because like they deserve whatever they're asking for. Like, it's a lot of work. So yeah, it is my goal to just create my own platform and tell stories that don't get to be told, especially those that are Black and erotic. and to produce a bunch of other stuff that I have in my head that I just want to see out in the world.
Now, you spoke on your own platform and everything. What is your vision? Like, when does Tyomi say, "Okay, I have really, really arrived"?
I feel like I would have really, really arrived in film when like I'm working on big sets as an intimacy coordinator because that's something else that I do. That's why I moved down to that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna run down
To work with Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, I'm working with you as soon as these strikes are over as an intimacy coordinator because I love your work. I have loved your work since I was a kid. And so my grandma and my mom were done for me.
Oh, yours too. I swear, every black family
Yes.
that you know somebody that worked in film, it's like, hey, why don't you go work for Tyler Perry?
I want to. I will be. I will be. So I'm only 1 degree of separation away.
Oh yeah, no, it's Atlanta, and I know so many people that work for them. So it's bound to happen. It's inevitable.
It's definitely going to happen. Yeah. And then also my streaming network reaching millions upon millions of people worldwide monthly, bringing in money to be able to support young artists who want an opportunity in the industry to like showcase their talent and just like creating jobs for people.
Yes.
That's my main thing. Is like I want my network to create jobs for people, to put food on people's tables, and to help people's dreams come true. But also to give people exposure who've never had exposure to the world, like their stories being told. Because by their stories being told, it's going to liberate other people. So I'm really excited about getting into that space in my career where like that's going to be a main focus for me. That's why for me, my coaching business has to be automated and in a certain place so that I can go and tell stories, be a producer and a director and focus on that mainly, and intimacy coordinator. Like that's like the next phase of my career I see is like, I'm always going to want to be a coach. But film, TV, media, like that's where I really want to shine. And I know I would arrive when I see all that in fruition and I have a studio and everything's popping.
Yeah. It's not far away.
It's not.
You're right.
I gotta get my own way.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I was gonna ask, what about this film industry, this movie industry, had you just like, yeah, this is what I want to do? What's so intriguing about it to
it's
you?
magic.
Yeah.
You always hear the magic of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get sucked into a story and you get so integrated into the characters' lives that you think that they're real. And you have visceral reactions to what they do and how they respond and how they move. And when it's an episodic thing, you tune in every single week because you want to see how their life evolves. And you just like build a relationship with these characters that are make believe. Some of them, of course, are based on like historical figures or like true events, but you get stuck into these stories. And then this stuff comes out of the minds of people. Like it's just the brilliance of it for me, the art behind it, the science behind it. It's so whimsical. And I was like, I want to be a part of this world. It's just like the sex world. I was like, I want to be a part of that world. And I'm a part of it now.
Yes.
So I want to be able to create it too, comfortably.
I like that. Because when it comes to like a lot of adult content, for the most part, it's pretty raunchy. It's not sensual or anything. It's just you have a girl in a thong bikini bending over some dude spraying baby oil on her butt.
You watch amateur?
I'm not going to confirm or deny this. This is just
Amateur is not sensual whatsoever, but it's realistic, at least for some people, because everybody doesn't have sex like that. But when it comes to like black cinema, like I want to bring back like kind of like
blaxploitation.
I do want to bring back blaxploitation, but I also want to usher in a new genre that really doesn't exist for black erotica. And honestly, like I'm talking not even like yes porn, but also erotica that's rated R simulated, like, but it looks
like the I don't know. You remember when we was kids and we would stay up and watch shows? Showtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
so that type of stuff.
Yeah, but not corny, because like shout out to Zane, I love Zane. However, the actors in the Zane Chronicles to me were trash. I was just like, who put this together? But yeah, just very sexy.
They gonna kill me because I'm my friends.
I mean, no, Zane's books are great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zane, because that was my first introduction to like Black erotica. Like,
Right.
Zane is amazing. I just did not like the production quality of the acting, because the production quality was fine. It was the acting that it just wasn't believable. Now she had me as an intimacy coordinator. Was great.
I can make that happen if you want.
I mean, where is Zane these days? I know her publicist reached out to me maybe 3 years ago.
If you want to make that happen, just let me know. Say the word.
Because Zane's still producing and making shows. Like, I want to work with her as an intimacy coordinator.
We'll make that happen. I'll put it in play for you.
Please do, because I'll never forget one. So there's a podcast called The Nod Podcast. I'm not sure if they're still broadcasting or not, but I was their very first guest, and they did like a show centered around Zane and like the impact of Zane, and I talked about her for like a whole 45 minutes on this show. It was like really dope, and that show went on to be spotlighted in the New York Times. Like they blew up, and that was the very first episode of their podcast, and I was just like, shout out to Zane, because like those of us that grew up in the 90s, Zane was the introduction, and then Sister Soldier, man, the coldest winter ever.
It's so funny you bring that up, because I forget who was I talking to the other day. I was saying the reason why I'm able to, kind of, I don't want to say deal with women, but understand women a lot more, is because I've read all of those books as a kid. Like a girl left Fly Girl on the table on her desk at school. And I was like, I saw all the girls reading this, so I'm like, let me read this book and see what they looking at and everything. And I read it, and I was looking at how she was I forget the main character's name. Was it Tracy?
But, I don't remember.
Well, she was in love with this guy Victor, and I don't remember Victor because it's supposed to be Victor. So I was studying like what made her so attracted to Victor, and I was like, let me become Victor then.
Very smart.
And ever since I did that, it's like I know how to deal with women now, like perfectly. I bring the worst out of them at times.
That's the power of erotica,
yes,
because there's the power of storytelling. People can learn just through storytelling, because if you put yourself like you did in the place of the character, and then you literally can live their life, and you can live their life through your own. So like that is the power of cinema. That's why I want to be a part of it. But yeah, put that up as Zane, because
we gonna do that. Don't even say I got you. I wanted you to kind of run down, like, you've done some dope work, like as far as television and print and everything. Kind of run down everybody, like, tell them about what you've done on television and where they can find a lot of your stuff at, or what your appearances and stuff.
Wow, I've done a whole lot, and stuff is just floating out there. So like in mainstream, I used to do background work for a few shows in Chicago, and one of them I was a principal extra, where like anytime the press showed up, I was a part of the press, so I was like at a show up, which is like pretty cool. So that was for a show called Boss, which starred Kelsey Grammer. That was an amazing show. It was about Chicago's mayor, which this was like one of the most gangster shows.
Was it Lightfoot?
No. Mayor Daley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it got too close to the truth, so that show had.
Of course, whatever happened.
Too close to the truth. Then I did some background for Shameless, and then like I did America's Next Top Model, Soccer 14. I auditioned 6 times to get on that show, and I've auditioned for a lot of reality shows. Like as an actor, model, auditioning is like your life.
Yeah,
so that's what you're doing,
Absolutely.
I did a stage play. I forget the name of the stage play, but it was written by a playwright named Elizabeth Nomi at Chicago. Shout out to Liz. I haven't seen her in years, but she put me on stage after I did America's Next Top Model. I thought that was like super dope. And then I've done like some music videos by some Chicago artists. One of the most, I guess, recognized ones was for a group called the Cool Kids.
Yeah, I remember them. Pennies.
Yeah, Pennies Pennies. It was actually for that song Pennies.
That was like my favorite Cool Kid song. I love that song. I love that song. I play that every day at work. I used to work at Macy's. That was my song right there. I was listening.
Kick You to the City when we in around town. I did that video. And I remember, because I had dropped out of college, I went to practice to New York for fashion design. I dropped out of college, and I remember I did that video like the following year. And all my classmates were like, yo, we saw you on MTVU in the cafeteria.
I gotta go back and watch that video now.
This was when I had black hair. I used to wear bangs all the time, like Chinese bangs. And this was like back in the day. It was baby me, but I mean, I was doing it. And I remember I did a video for a friend, and it had got on MTV, and they actually took it down because there was a shot of me coming out of the pool, and water was like running off of my boobs. And they said it was too much, and I was like, "Are you kidding me for MTV?" Just because I'm black, whatever. But yeah, I've done a few things. And as a model, like I've done stuff for Fashion Fair. I've done a bunch of runway in Chicago for local designers and like just a bunch of dope stuff.
Now, before we go to break, Chicago. What is it about that place that is just so special? You know, like I said, my wife is from there. Everybody I meet from Chicago, it's like this genuine spirit and pride that you got. It's so many talented people that come, especially in the comedic world.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Chris Red. Shout out to Lil Howie. Shout out to
Corey Holcomb. Just Niche.
Shout out to Just Niche. Shout out to Corey Bale. Shout out to Leon Rogers. Shout out to Damian Williams. Shout out to shout out to D-Ray Davis. It's so many people out of the go, and I love comedy. It's one of my. It's like probably my top genre.
Yeah.
And then action. But I go see comedy shows all the time. But yeah, like Chicago as a city was founded by a black man, Jean-Baptiste Gustavo, and I think that has something to do with just the realness of Chicago. And two, it's the fact that so many black people migrated from the South to Chicago. So you have like the Southern hospitality, but like the Northern charm.
Yeah.
And then Chicago is a world-class city. So like, shoot, electricity was debuted in Chicago at the World Fair. Come on now. Like Chicago is a city that's I like to say it's like a catalyst for all kinds of things. Big businesses in Chicago. The railroad system was pretty much like developed and built out of Chicago because it was the meatpacking district of the nation at one point. All railroads lead to Chicago. You know, so like Chicago has been a hub that has been at the center of like shaping America. And that has been. So many musical genres have been created in Chicago. Gospel, house music. I have to debate people all the time about this. Do not take that from Chicago.
Yeah.
We created that.
Yeah. So trying to say DC.
It's not DC. Yeah, it is Chicago. Yeah. And so many genres have come out of house itself. Like so Chicago has shaped the fabric of music.
Even stepping.
Come on, don't play with us. Like Chicago is that city. So it's just historically so much has happened. Chicago was the center of prohibition. You know, like just so much rich history that shaped the fabric of America, and we just continue to do that. Stars are born out of Chicago. Legends are born out of Chicago, even if they are infamous.
Al Capone.
Yo.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we got some rapid fire questions for you before we close this thing out. All right, this is the Black Lynn Show, 101 TKO Radio.
and more.
Yo, and we are back. That was Lloyd. You know what's you want to know something interesting about Lloyd?
Yes, I love Lloyd.
Me and him played on the same baseball team when we were playing Little League.
Really?
That's where I first met him.
That's so random.
Lloyd Polite. Yeah,
Lloyd Polite.
yeah. I remember he one game he came late because he was on an audition, and this is when he was with a group called Tune.
Oh, we in Tune? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to the same high school too. Shout out to Stevenson High School.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out to Lloyd. I think he just got engaged today. I think I saw him on social
congrats
media.
to Lloyd. Wow.
Yeah. So congrats to Lloyd. Lloyd Polite, man. I'm proud of you, bro.
Coco from SWV.
Coco. That's who you went to school with?
No. I'm saying that's who he's supposed to be dating.
Really?
What? Huh?
They're engaged.
I don't know about engaged, but somebody wanted to show here talking about it.
Man, let me find out, Lloyd, you going after the
First of all,
Cougars.
I saw SWV.
Oh, you went to that concert?
No, I saw them in Vegas in January.
Mm-hmm.
And they sound just like the track. They sound like straight out the 90s. They have not aged in their voices, and they look good. And they still doing the dance moves and everything. I'm like, those sisters with voices kept their voices.
They just did a concert with Keith Sweat I want to say, when was the 18th? Last week.
Wow.
I'm so mad. Man, all these concerts going on, and I'm missing them all.
How deep is your love?
Okay, so we're about to close it out with the lovely Tyomi Morgan. Real quick, you gave me an interesting story of how you got your name, because I would love to
I don't want to tell that publicly.
You don't want to tell that?
That's a part people own.
Okay. It was such a dope story.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. But we're going to get into some rapid fire questions. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Top 5 movies of all time.
Of all time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The Lion King.
Okay.
Coming to America. The Last Dragon.
Oh boy. Kiss my comfort.
Kiss my comfort. Kiss. Playtime over, boy. That's like one of my favorite lines. Oh my God! While You Were Sleeping, and fifth one. I want to say all the John Wick series. Like, action, and like a runner-up would be Die Hard series.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are your 2 favorite action movies, or what's your favorite action movie of all time?
Of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! What? Everything with Liam Neeson to me like slaps, but I mean I want to go with John Wick. I just like the nonstop action, stuff getting blown up, people getting slaughtered.
What about The Equalizer?
I like Equalizer. Yes, I would say Denzel's action films I really enjoy too. Anything like with The Rock in it, like I like. It's certain actors. Oh, Bruce Willis. I will watch anything with Bruce Willis and also Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Get down.
Action.
Have you ever seen The City of God?
Yes, I have.
What you think of that movie?
Hold on. Put me on the synopsis. I know I've watched it.
It's a Brazilian movie. It's all subtitles. It's kind of like this kid, and he's trying to avoid this drug dealer, Lil Z. You never.
I feel like I've seen it. For some movies I'll watch and I forget the name.
If you get a chance, go watch that movie again. The City of God. It's
Kung Fu movies.
Oh,
like Ip Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Shaolin Master. Like I grew up watching Kung Fu movies with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your dad 270s, baby.
He was in the 60s.
Yeah, I know. Look, growing up in the 70s,
yes,
that's when like all the kung fu influence came into the United States within the 70s. So yeah, that's dope. So is he a Wu-Tang fan then?
I think he's a Ghostface Killer fan. I'm not sure. I gotta ask him.
Yeah, because that
Shaolin.
Yeah, it kind of like balances.
He definitely was an NWA fan.
Oh, you gotta be. What is a movie that you would recommend everybody watch?
Right now, I'm super obsessed with They Clone Tyrone. Like, I think everybody should watch that, especially if you're a sci-fi person, if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you are a black cult classic kind of a person. They Clone Tyrone is masterful.
I agree.
Oh my God! Like,
Yes.
I saw it at the American Black Film Festival.
Oh, so you got first dibs.
Yes. And I was raving about it. I was like, everybody needs to see this film. And so I watched it like 4 times.
I'm gonna give one, because I'm sticking with the sci-fi genre. I love tense sci-fi movies, and Vivarium on Netflix. Not sure if you guys seen that one, bro. Oh my God, that movie is like I like to be creeped out, and like I just love those creepy, tense sci-fi movies. And Vivarium, oh my God, it hits all the beats that I love about the sci-fi genre. So yes, please, and let me know what you think about it when you watch it. Yeah, it's a bugged out movie too.
Oh my goodness, so you need some popcorn and wine.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mind trip too. Okay, so let's get to the last one. Is there a filmmaker that you admire and you kind of pattern your career after or look to?
I can't say I patterned my career after any one filmmaker, but I will say that Erica Luss inspired me to go to film school. I literally, and she's an erotic cinematographer from Barcelona, so she's one of the most, I guess you could say, famous erotic cinematographers. Because she's had so much press and like awards and stuff. And I've worked with her as well. And she's like, hey,
there you go.
But I saw her, I was sitting on my best friend's couch in Harlem, and I was watching Netflix, and she popped up on this documentary that I was watching, and she was just talking about what she does. And then she said, I cannot tell all the stories that need to be told. Like, I can't tell black stories because I'm not black, and we need more people in this space to tell these stories. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to film school.
What's her name again?
Erica Lust.
Shout out to Erica Lust.
Yeah, but I really admire, I really love Jordan Peele's perspective.
Oh,
and
yes.
How he shoots.
Yes.
And just I call it psychological horror, erotic, not erotic, just neo horror, which is I call noir horror.
Yes.
Right? Because the things that we are afraid of are real situations that black people deal with. And it's terrifying. It is terrifying. So I just love that. I just love his perspective. It's how he shoots.
Yeah.
And there's this other person who her name, I mess it up, so I'm not gonna say it, but she was the director of Queen and Slim. Lena Matias.
Why I thought that was Lena Waithe.
She was a part of that too, but she was
the Chicago one.
Yes. And so her style, because she has worked with Beyonce for a long time on her visuals, and just her style and how she shoots, and of course Issa Rae. If I say okay, mainstream, Issa Rae is a blueprint.
Totally agree. I tried to date her, it didn't work.
What you mean you're dating?
Yeah, we had a mutual friend, and I tried to
you shoot your shot. That's crazy.
This was way before she was famous and all that. But yeah,
that's funny, Vinnie out here in the streets.
It's all good though, man. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude this installment of the Black Lens Show. I want to thank Tyomi for following through, chopping it up with us.
This was a great conversation.
Yes.
Anytime, Vinnie, anytime.
So give everybody your contact info. How can they, follow you, check out what you got going on, let them know about everything.
Yes, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Real Glamazon Tyomi, RealGlamazon Tyomi, and Twitter at Glam Erotica Tyomi. Find me on YouTube under Glam Erotica 101. My blog site, glamerotica101.com. My Pleasure Academy, thepleasureacademy.com, and the website for the only fitness program in the world that teaches women how to improve their intimate movement, thecowgirlworkout.com. And you can always put Tylee Morgan in Google and you will find me.
There you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week, same time, same place. The Black Lynn Show, 101 TKO Radio, and we are out. That's a cut.